Welcome back to another episode of Iniquitous News. I am your host, Lawrence Johnson. We back like cook crack on this fine Friday. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Let's dive right in, people. Well, Trump took a nice little visit to the UK that turned very bad very quickly. First off, the haters over there was ready for that action. And then Trump made this egregious lie, as he always does, and he said in his welcome speech, "Thank you for welcoming me as the first president." And it's just like, bitch, there has been like 8 different presidents that have gone and visited the UK. The fuck is you talking about? But, you know, I digress. We let that slide. The best part of it all, the Windsor Castle action led by donkeys and other British groups. First, they went into the field and basically did like a 100 by 100 big ass poster of Donald and Jeffrey. But then somebody went from across the way at a different hotel and streamed a projection of the story of Donald and Jeffrey onto the Windsor Castle for it to be played. Then 4 people got arrested for that because obviously they got arrested because they pissed Donald Trump off. And you can't do that because that's what happens. But if you didn't know the story of Donald and Jeffrey, just take these 3 minutes and 30 seconds to listen in because this was elite hater execution. Play the clip.
Their friendship goes back to at least 1992, when the two of them are filmed laughing together. Trump can be seen making friendly conversation with Epstein in between clips of Trump smiling and dancing with a group of young women at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida. The following year, they attend a cafe opening together. And a month after that, Trump invites Epstein to his wedding. In 1995, a young woman called Maria Farmer is working for Epstein in Manhattan. Late one night, she says, Epstein unexpectedly calls her to his offices, and she arrives in running shorts. Donald Trump then turns up, wearing a business suit, and starts to hover over her. Ms. Farmer feels scared as Trump stares at her bare legs. Then Epstein enters the room, and she recalls him saying to Trump, No, she's not here for you. The two men then leave the room, and Ms. Farmer says she heard Trump commenting that he thought Ms. Farmer was 16 years old. She says she later reported the incident to the authorities. Trump denies he was ever in Epstein's office. Trump is then asked if one of them was Virginia Giuffre.
I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole her.
2 years later, after Giuffre was recruited from his club by Epstein and Maxwell, Trump tells New York Magazine he thinks that Epstein is a, quote, terrific guy, and that they have known each other for 15 years. He's a lot of fun to be with, Trump says. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. 2003. Trump draws a message in a book made for Epstein's 50th birthday. The drawing depicts a woman's breasts and is accompanied by text written by Trump to Epstein that includes the line, quote, "We have certain things in common, Jeffrey," end quote. Trump signs off by saying, quote, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." A Donald signature is written in the place of pubic hair. 22 years later, Trump will begin legal action against the Wall Street Journal over their reporting of the drawing, claiming it doesn't exist. Epstein's estate then releases the drawing to Congress. Another entry in the birthday book contains a photo of Epstein holding a novelty check bearing Donald Trump's signature, along with a note suggesting Epstein, quote-unquote, sold Trump a woman for $22,500. It's unclear if the photo and accompanying note is a joke or not. 2004. The two men fall out, and their close relationship ends. The reason for their estrangement? They both tried to buy the same Palm Beach mansion. 2005. Police in Palm Beach begin investigating Epstein after a 14-year-old child reports he molested her at his mansion. 2008. Epstein pleads guilty to state charges in Florida, including procuring a child for prostitution and solicitation of prostitution. The sweetheart plea deal, agreed by U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, includes a non-prosecution agreement giving Epstein immunity from possible federal charges. He is sentenced to just 18 months in jail. Under the plea deal, Epstein is allowed to be out of jail from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 6 days a week and has his own driver to take him to and from his office. 2010. In a legal deposition, Epstein is asked about his relationship with Donald Trump.
Have you ever had a personal relationship with Donald Trump?
What do you mean by personal relationships?
Have you socialized with him?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
Talk about well-executed hate. And it's crazy to me more Americans don't actually know this story and the full length of the story. If you want to go hear the entire thing, it's led by donkeys on TikTok, and it's like one of their latest videos. And it's crazy to me that it's not more viral than it should be. It's only like 180,000 views. And that's because, as usual, TikTok is now basically banning free speech. Not banning it completely, but limiting it in the weirdest and most obvious ways, where it's like I just had a video that hit 4 million on there, but because I was talking bad about certain things in the Charlie Kirk thing, they just said, oh, you violated the community guidelines. And stuff like this, when you talk shit about Trump / the leader, boom, all of a sudden they say, oh, you violated community guidelines. And it's like, not really. What the fuck is happening in free speech? And that's exactly what we're going to talk about next, because it's leaving just as fast as the days go by. Each day, it's closer and closer to like, oh, we're going to be in a Kim Jong-un type of North Korea-run society. Because if people like Jimmy Kimmel can't make jokes about other political figures without getting fired, then what's to say about the rest of us? And Trump's not even trying to hide it. He says if 97% of the speech is bad and talking shit about somebody, that's no longer free speech. I know what the fuck does that even mean? I don't know. Try to see for yourself.
When somebody is given 97% of the stories are bad about a person, that's no longer free speech. That's no longer anything. That's just cheating, and they cheat, and they become really members of the Democrat National Committee. That's what they are, the networks, in my opinion.
Maybe it's just because you keep on doing terrible things and acting like a dickhead and making us the laughing stock of the entire world that a lot of TV reporters and a lot of TV news stations have to report the honest facts about you fucking sucking as president. But no, it didn't stop there. He keeps on dropping these little hints of no, they're no longer going to be able to speak bad about me if you are on TV. This one, he was on the jet. Play that.
When you have a network and you have evening shows and all they do is hit Trump. That's all they do. If you go back, I guess they haven't had a conservative on in years or something, somebody said. But when you go back and you take a look, all they do is hit Trump. They're licensed. They're not allowed to do that.
So because they have TV licenses, that means they're not allowed to talk bad about me because I am the president. And the fucking thing is, that shit's actually becoming true because people like Brendan Carr, the head of the FCC, are now saying, well, no, we can't be talking bad about our president. Local TV stations can't not be thinking about the people's interests. We have to think about the nation and the government's interests. It's like, what dictatorship are we falling into? Like, honestly, what the fuck is going on? And before it's too late, shit's just gonna be gone. Because let's not forget, we just had 250 legislators go over there to Israel and please Bibi the fucking bomber. And now you can no longer talk bad about them, at least slowly but surely. They're trying to go state by state saying, oh, yeah, no, you can't boycott, you can't sanction us. And if you do, you're not going to get funding anymore. And Donald Trump is going in the same exact way. Now, if you talk bad about me on TV, you're fired. And it's just like, wait, what? So comedians can no longer tell jokes anymore. That's what you're telling me. If they're a bad taste against you. And Jimmy Kimmel's wasn't even that bad. It was more about your response to when being asked about how you're holding up with Charlie Kirk that you gave a fucking terrible answer. It's crazy because they can't joke about Charlie Kirk's death, but then J.D. Vance can go on national TV and joke about blowing up random ships in Venezuela. Play that for me.
And I was talking to Secretary Hegseth, and you know what he said? He said, you know what, Mr. Vice President? We don't see any of these drug boats coming into our country. They've completely stopped. And I said, I know why. I would stop too. Hell, I wouldn't go fishing right now in that area of the world.
So we can joke about blowing up random ships off the coast of Venezuela that we actually have no confirmation. But as soon as somebody makes a joke about Donald Trump and his reaction to Charlie Kirk, you get fired. We live in a very, very odd time, an odd world right now. And it doesn't stop because remember that Australian reporter that asked Donald Trump, like, hey, do you think it's right that you're doing as much business and making as much money as you are right now in this presidency? And Donald Trump told him to shush. Well, now their entire news reporters are banned from asking him questions. That's a dictatorship. That's what fascism is. You guys get that, right? Where it's like, okay, no, I no longer want this independent group of journalists that's picked by a committee of like, okay, you've done your job the correct way. You guys have what it takes to interview the president. And instead, he'd like to handpick whoever reports him, and if they ask bad questions, they got to go. Now he's to the point of saying, oh, well, I told the Fox guy, you need a new pollster. You need a new guy to run your polls because they're trash. And it's just like, holy fuck, like, he just wants to be lied to. Oh, I don't care. The trade numbers, bad. Fire them. Just have somebody that post fake trade numbers so I could be happy. Oh, this shit, polls against how I'm doing and what the country's looking like? Yeah, fuck that. They're not good? Get a new poll guy. And it's like, whoa, oh, shit. Reporter, you're asking me a tough question? Yeah, fuck you. No longer. The only one they can't get rid of is CNN, but even CNN, he doesn't even answer their questions anymore. He just makes sure he has to know what part and what department they're with, and then, oh, you guys suck. I mean, listen to this.
CNN.
No.
There's a split,
Fake
though.
news. Fortunately, nobody watches.
But my question
Is anybody watching CNN nowadays? I haven't seen it in a long time.
But some of your supporters are wary of the U.S. getting involved in another
Oh, I
foreign
haven't
wall,
seen it, no.
and some believe that we should support.
Do you ever ask a positive question at CNN? My supporters are more in love with me today, and I'm in love with them more than they were even at election time, where we had a total a landslide. We had, we won all 7 swing states. Did CNN report that? We won all 7 out of 7, which everyone said would be almost impossible.
Like, she didn't even ask that tough of a question. You just really hate them that bad? Oh, I can't watch it. You guys are failing. It's just like, bro, shut the fuck up. Grow some balls and just answer some questions. But that thing, I don't think he can actually answer any fucking questions because he doesn't know the answer. He really don't know what the fuck is going on. He just wants to feel like, I'm winning. And what does that feel like to him? Well, putting up 12-foot gold statues of him holding a Bitcoin. I can't even believe I'm saying that shit out loud. Like, you would think this is a parody. Like, this isn't real. But no, this is a real fucking thing that we're dealing with. Now, all of a sudden, you walk in D.C., you see some big-ass motherfuckers like, okay, I just know he really just want to be Kim Jong-un of this shit. And he hates the fact that people are like, wait, no, you can't just be a dictator out front. But he's like, well, guess what? I'm going to do dictator shit. Ballroom over here, gold plate this shit. I need me a 12-foot statue right out there. And fuck it, let's do it. He's like, wait, hold on. Wait, I didn't agree to this shit. And now, Russia and Ukraine, this man don't even give a fuck about it no more. He acting like, oh, nah, this is not our problem, not our war. I'm not allies with Ukraine. I'm not allies with Russia. I thought it was just going to be easy to end. It's like, no, bitch, everybody told you it wasn't going to be easy to end. But now, all of a sudden, you don't want to help / you don't want to do anything for anybody because it's too difficult. And then when asked, well, what about, if a world war pops off? Well, we'll be all right because there's an ocean between us. Huh? Can I play that?
I hope it turns out well. It doesn't affect us because, we have a big ocean in between, but you're losing millions of people.
Yeah, so attention, dickhead. Let me introduce you to the Bering Strait. People walked across that from America to Russia back in the day. They can still do that now. A big ocean? Motherfucker, Russia could be here in 20 minutes bombing Alaska. But I know in your mind, you already think Alaska's a part of Russia because every time you're talking about visiting there, you said you were going to Russia and then coming back. I know, you just geographically challenged. But saying a whole ocean in between us and Russia is one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever heard. And all of a sudden, Russia and Ukraine are no longer our problem. It's a Biden problem. They would have never went to war if you was in presidency. That's what you say. But then you were also saying, well, when I become president, I'm going to stop this war right away. But now, Putin treating you like his little bitch, and you're starting to realize you have no say over anything. So now it's, well, don't worry, we have an ocean between us. No, dickhead. Oh, my days. Like, bro really actually slow. That's just unbelievable. And now what's happening around the world? Well, not around the world. In our country today, protests have started to take off in Chicago. And immediately, the protesters lined up to basically stop ICE from leaving the facility. Like, all right, let's just protest right here. And they were immediately met with force. No surprise there. Right off the bat, they just spray a chemical agent to spread the protesters out. It's like, we are such a violent country. I mean, Look at this right in the beginning. Dude tried to toss the smoke back and immediately just gets bodied by 5 or 6 different guards. And then if you show this other angle from here, they basically zoom in on bro to see what's going on and show him what the fuck is happening. Like, oh yeah, wait, zoom in on that because we can kind of see him getting fucked up. And it's just like, what are you gonna say? He assaulted an officer? Is that what he's gonna get booked with? It's crazy because that's what's so difficult about pulling off a revolution or a coup d'etat or some shit like this here, because we actually have people in our government that will kill us with no questions asked. We talked about Nepal. What's happening in France right now? Same type of revolution. Sorry. Kind of both, though. France was fed up because what happened? Macron came out and said, oh, yeah, we're going to do budget cuts to Social Security. No longer can retire at age 62. Now we need you to retire at 65 or 66. They was immediately pissed. All right, we're cutting working wages here. They got even more pissed. And what did they do? Started to fucking protest to make change. And yes, it got violent, but looks like mostly on one side more than the other side, which I don't know. I'm just saying, people, seems to happen a motherfucking lot. I don't know why cops be so aggressive, but at the same time, I do. Because think about the cop that you know at home. Whether it was your friend or somebody you kind of knew, and they'd be like, does it make sense they're a cop? Most likely they're overcompensated / this is like an ego trip for them, and they want the power. I don't know many cops that I grew up with where I'm like, oh, I really think they became a cop because they wanted to like save people and make a difference. No, they wanted to extort power and be in control of shit. And that's the problem with the cops that we have in position today. But now France, the real revolution, also why it's happening, is because they are in $3.6 trillion worth of debt. Which sounds like a lot, but then I think about America and we're in $36 trillion. What the fuck? We 10 times that and we haven't had no type of revolution? I'm just saying, people, we gotta wake up. What the fuck is going on? But how did they get into that debt? That's what a lot of people don't talk about. That's because they had an agreement, well, basically a 360 deal with African countries that they colonized, right around 14 to 15 of them, where they would take 80% of their revenue, basically of trade, and have it shipped up to them. And African countries all of a sudden was like, yo, fuck that. Starting with like Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré. He's like, I don't need y'all. We don't need France. We don't need a lot of shit you're talking about. Why are you just extracting all of our wealth and we're left with shit? And now France is in a panic because they're like, wait, how do we make up for this? And they can't. And so now people are like, well, we're starting a revolution because you continue to tax us more dollars, but tax cuts for the 1%. I wish we could get on that same fucking page. Hello? 99 versus 1%. We can't be too worried about all the other bullshit. Because if you do, you end up like we are right now. Left versus right on the brink of civil war. And you have people like Trump using actual FBI dollars to take out Letitia James. You know how insane that sounds? He's going to fire somebody because they can't get her arrested / remove her from her position. So they're going after mortgage fraud for her because that's one of his number one enemies. That's the type of shit that we're dealing with in the United States. And I don't understand. At some point, I think we have to like all get on the same page and be like, okay, you know what? Enough is enough. How do we stand all business together? But with shit like Charlie Kirk separating the country, it's a lot more difficult. What's the latest with Charlie Kirk? Well, there's this footage that has been released of a guy basically tampering with criminal evidence / the scene of the fucking crime and taking out a camera from behind that was shooting the crowd and probably shooting the debaters, taking out an SD card and handing it off. Now, immediately, why are you tampering with the crime and the scene of the crime? And then other question is, why haven't we seen or why haven't they released that footage so we could see exactly where the shooter was at, right? Now, Tyler Robinson still has not confessed. Candace Owens released this picture saying that this is at 6:38 p.m. in a Dairy Queen. It's like 15, 16 minutes away from where the shooting took place. Now, there is no timestamp. I do see the Superman poster in the back in the Kalai Parasite. So I do question a little bit of the timing. Like, is this AI generated? I'm not sure. But then I think about, I look at him, he has those glasses / hat on, similar outfit. There's the maroon t-shirt. Why does he not look panicked whatsoever? He looks happy. Even Louisi, like you could see, like head was down, glasses on. Bro didn't even have the glasses on. He's sitting there, glasses on top of his head, looking up, looks like the TV screen, looking like, damn, what's just happening down the street? We're just like, wait, oh, what the fuck? I don't know if he's a martyr, a patsy, or this photo just isn't that accurate. But it's like, that's odd. And why hasn't he confessed if supposedly all those bullshit text messages were his confession, right? Another odd thing. But then I take it a step further, and I wonder why would Benjamin Netanyahu release another fucking video, this time 2 minutes long, from the Prime Minister of Israel, Twitter, saying, we didn't do it. I promise God, Israel didn't do it. Trust us. It's like, bitch, we don't trust you for fucking nothing. But why are you even taking the time to do all this and act like you fake care? You feel me? Play the clip real quick.
When people spread these lies about us, prepare yourself for the assault. And, they're trying to delegitimize the state of Israel. Charlie Kirk said to me that, he wrote me this detailed letter, you have to fight the slander. These untruths, these vilifications have consequences. And he was right. But I'll tell you one thing, we're fighting on the battlefield against the terrorists and winning. And he was fighting on the battlefield of ideas. And I think he was winning.
Does that not sound like a guilty motherfucker to you? It sounds like a guilty motherfucker to me. This is insane. Why would we do this? Charlie only cared about Judeo-Christians. He wrote me and said how much he put Israel first. It's like, bitch, we already know that's true. And if that was actually true, you would show the note. You would bring up what he wrote you. You would show the text, because you like to show all the other fake shit that you're doing over there in genocide and taking people out over there in Palestine. But all of a sudden, this great leader and representer that you just love and know so well, you have no texts, no letters, no anything to show for it, because he wasn't fucking with you anymore. And we heard about that $150 million he turned down. And now all of a sudden you panicking. A little bit too motherfucking late, because a lot of people are turning their heads and they still looking at you regardless. I don't know, people. This story still does not add up to me. And it makes no sense somebody that's in the middle of bombing 5 different countries, carrying out a G-side, already came on national news 2 different times to talk about Charlie, made another post about Charlie, needs to come out here and deny that he killed him once again in a 2-minute video. Unless you had something to fucking do with it. If you had nothing to do with it, most people would be like, oh yeah, I'm not even taking the time to deny this shit. This is some bullshit, bro. Why would I even talk about this? Usually when guilty motherfuckers do something like this, it's a telltale sign. I'm like, oh yeah, hold on, son. Yeah, bro has some involvement. At least a little bit. I don't know how much, but shit is not adding the fuck up. I'll tell you that. And what's even crazier, the rest of the world knows what he's doing too. Because then you take a look at this Chinese government official arguing with somebody from Israel in both their second languages, or maybe third language for the Chinese dude, but literally pointing out, like, you guys are committing genocide. Who the fuck do you think is going to be believing you are on your side? This is a 1:30 clip that really was so eye-opening of like, okay, all right, so the rest of the world's eyes are open and they understand what the fuck is going on. Play this.
You kill more than 70,000 civilians.
No,
there are more than the terrorists.
Tomorrow morning, you have a terror organization.
My solution is that go to the UN, work with the UN, and agree the 2-state solution.
We can't stop the war as long as we have the hostages.
No, this kind of propaganda have too many. No one believe it.
Look how beautifully broken down that was, and so basic and to the point of, bro, nobody fucking believes you idiots anymore. And if you really wanted to solve this problem, you would go straight to the UN and solve it and figure out a 2-state solution. But you don't. And you still try to pull off the bullshit. Well, the hostages, shut the fuck up. Y'all don't care about the hostages. We know that deal has been made so many different times. And you keep saying no because you don't give a fuck. And you want to continue to bomb this place to an oblivion. And what has been happening lately? Oh, yeah, they shut off their internet and basically cut off their electricity so we have nothing coming in and out. Surprise, surprise. The genociders strike a fucking again. I don't know, people. This shit is unreal to me. Every day I just be astonished. I'm like, wow, I can't believe we haven't woken up yet. Or like, what's the next step that we need to take to figure this shit out? Because right now, heading in a dark direction. But it's cool, though. You know what I mean? Like, gotta stay positive in some sort of way. I wake up every day mad happy. That's why I spread this negativity, turns into positivity. Now everything is great. You feel me? And that's how you need to act, too. I know you be watching this and be like, damn, that's a lot of bad shit going on. But it's cool, though, people. We gonna be all right. We just need to get on the same fucking page. Stop pointing all across there. Stop pointing across there. Start pointing up. Like, Who problem is this? The government. 9 times out of motherfucking 10. They the problem. And we just gotta get on the same page. Like, okay, when is enough enough? I don't know what day that's gonna happen. I have no idea. I know one thing, though. I appreciate y'all tuning in to another episode. Don't forget to hate and subscribe. I'm going to be back on Monday, and I think that's when we are making the name change happen. And I need y'all in the comments to help me out. Anything and everything with Lawrence or like HNN Hate and News Network. I don't know. I think anything and everything, like, it leaves me open to a lot bigger, like, podcast/video opportunities where it's not just news. If I put News Network, it's like, okay, I got to come here for politics, etc. Where it's like, I want to trick the YouTube algorithm to think like, oh, he does a lot of different stuff, not just politics, not just something that's super divisive. So they start pushing this shit a little bit more. Because if you haven't noticed, YouTube, Google, they tied in with those bastards over there. I mean, that Charlie Kirk interview when he talked about October 7th and they most likely a stand-down order was given, pulled from the internet. You're not going to say they're being fucking complicit? I don't know. Leave in the comments, though. You already know I'll respond. Appreciate y'all joining the Patreon. I hope y'all liked that episode and all the music and all the extra shit over there. I mean, there's still a free membership y'all could join below. And I mean, I still post on there. And it's just an easier way for me to communicate with y'all directly or for y'all to send me links. Shit like that. You feel me? I'm going to see you on Monday. Don't forget to stay Mephistophelian, iniquitous, vociferous at all times. I'm out.
You've just tuned in to another edition of Iniquitous News Network with Lawrence Johnson. Don't forget to hate and subscribe.